Just wrapped up. Bernie, Hillary, they both spoke, then a panel. Kind of a little wonky specifics about the college debt plan. Were you impressed? Because I know for me, I have a couple suspicions about her following through, and I know a lot of millennials obviously have a trust issue with her.
In my opinion, I was definitely impressed with the ideas. I think that the difficulty that we're going to have in general with any candidates saying their ideas is that the president in the end is not Congress, so they're not going to be able to say, hey, you are definitely going to do this. It's going to be that tight race in. But at least bringing the issues up now and then being able to propose them is a great start because...
Well, the president there's something to be said for, yes, not a dictator, but how hard can we trust he's going to actually fight? Because, for example, if Bernie Sanders became president, sorry to depress you guys, if he became president, he might not get everything through, but he's going for broke to get these things through, whereas people like Hillary Clinton might try to compromise more quickly. So do you trust that she's actually going to fight for these things rather than just she gets in, oh, it's not practical, the Republicans won't go, so everything gets watered down?
In my opinion, I see that she is going to fight, but I see she will try to fight more practically. Because I think the issue is at this point, a lot of times people want something now. And the issue is the way our democracy is set up, we have to get those votes. We have to do things. So if you jump down the throats too fast of people in the State House, and from someone who's running for state representative right now, I've seen how clashing people get and how much people will actually try to end someone else's career for doing something too fast. So I think if we can at least try to get this done practically and get as much done as we can, work to do that. Maybe we may not be able to accomplish everything this second, but to get the groundwork done and get us away from where we are now, because that's the one thing we got to remember. There will never be perfection. We will never hit the perfect point where everyone's good. The thing with freedom and democracy and life in general is you're always working to be better than you were before and constantly striving towards something. And I think that's where happiness and where this campaign is trying to reach for right now.
Oh my God, if I liked men, I'd be all over you. Now, wait. You're very poetic, but I have to disagree with you. I think what you just described is the theory of gradualism and incrementalism. And going around the country the last year, I could tell you whether people supported Bernie, Trump, whatever, I think they're sick of gradualism because I think a lot of people see gradualism as code for I'll get what I can get through, that doesn't piss off my donors. So not that obviously you're not going to get 100% of what you want, but I think Hillary Clinton, part of the reason millennials don't trust her, there's tepid support for her among young people, is she's made a career out of kind of like tinkering around the edges, but really no significant, can you name when she was senator the biggest thing she did? I mean, it was naming a post office. I don't mean that condescendingly. That's literally what she sponsored. So I guess what I'm getting at is, do you think with her as president, obviously it sounds good, the things she's pushing, but do you think at a point where income inequality is at record levels, we could afford kind of like tinkering around the edges and gradualism? Or do you think we need someone who's going to go in there and pretty much for lack of a better word, knock them in the face on the other side?
I think we're going to have to hit a middle line on it. I think one of the things, a big thing to look at too, is with President Obama getting through the Obamacare plan, and then suddenly after that, it was really difficult for him to even propose things because people were so angry, especially the other side was so angry about that. So,
which is surprising since it originally was a Republican health care plan.
Exactly. And I think that's the big point is we don't want to jump so fast that it will curve anything at all getting done. And as many issues as I have with gradualism, and I, again, don't think that it's a great thing, but at the same time, is the alternative really better to be able to just jump in and get everything done? Because remember, if you could actually do that successfully, so could the other side, and that means that electing someone like Donald Trump for president, he could come in and change everything on a dime.
Good segue. I've met a lot of supporters of Jill Stein over the last few weeks. They pretty much say, yeah, Donald Trump's deplorable. I hate what he says, what he stands for. But his is rhetoric, and they think hers is record. And they pretty much don't see much of a difference. Do you feel like they're missing something, these people? Actually, it's really not Stein who's really a threat to Hillary Clinton. Gary Johnson. I mean, Clinton is now behind a point in Colorado because Gary Johnson's at 13%. I think it has something to do with that. But if we're being real, these people, they don't see much of a difference between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. What are they missing?
I think the fact that they are missing is, besides the wildly different views in general, plus his attitude on things, and that's honestly what scares me. I'm someone who, yes, if there is a candidate who has opposing views to me, I will not necessarily agree with them, but if they hold their own character, I think I can at least try to work together with compromise on that. But when you have someone who comes in who will literally say, hey, I took advantage of systems and codes because it was good business, and like has absolute no care for the average American in that.
I hate to push back, but I'm going to. Don't you think it's kind of, there's something to be said for, all right, he's openly arrogant about his douchebaggery, but she's done a lot of the same things. She just talks softer and doesn't brag about it. I mean, if you've been paying attention, her State Department was like a revolving door slush fund for Clinton Foundation donors. So what I'm getting at is he might be deplorable and brag, oh, it's smart if I don't pay taxes, or, yeah, I screwed people and this and that. But is it any better when more establishment politicians, they might sound softer, but they kind of have suspicious activities in their record?
The way I see it is this way, though. At the end of the day, when you have someone whose every single word could easily spark a war, their finger on
and tweet,
which went to the point where we got presidents going on Twitter with things like a average middle schooler. It's kind of sad in general, but being able to have your finger on the nuclear trigger as well as your mouth on the trigger of the world, that is really what frightens me. I think that so far the things he said haven't been as threatening yet because he doesn't have that position of power. But when he could easily spark something against a world leader, another country, especially in the situation we are right now with ISIS and other tensions so high, I'm not really comfortable in that situation.
And are you concerned at all about her record in terms of intervention? I mean, obviously, I don't even think she hides it, that she wants a more muscular foreign policy. She advised President Obama to do a lot more intervention, more troops to Afghanistan than he ended up sending. She wanted him to arm the rebels in Syria within 5 minutes. Libya, Iraq, I could go on. Are you worried that we're going to see an accelerated intervention around the world with her?
The thing I see with her is she definitely is more moderate on those things. She doesn't hold the full liberal view, especially in issues of defense.
I think you're being generous, but go ahead.
Yeah. But I'll say it to this degree is I believe at least from the standpoint she's at, she could be worked with. That's definitely, if you get Democrats together and independents together and intervene with that, she is someone who at least you could try to pull farther away from that path. I think if you're looking at a president along the lines of Donald Trump, I don't think that you could kind of steer him away from his ideas. He seems like, this is what I'm doing, and screw anyone that believes different.